And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. It is Tuesday, already January the 28th, as we come to an end of this month. By Friday, we'll be moving into February on Saturday. Looks like we'll have groundhog sightings. We'll let you know about that, and we'll go back over what PETA is warning over all that. It is foggy this morning. What I mean is we've got a fog advisory out this morning. We're starting out at 36 right now, as we'll head to, get this, 61, 30s and then 60. It is some kind of thick out there. As a matter of fact, I don't think you can see the courthouse equipment at all as we go to pull up radar this morning. Here's what we're looking at. Look at this. Everything south of Meridian is thick, and thicker. As you get to Clarkdale, it will become very thick there, Highway 45. Now, as we get into these two-lane roads of 514, 512, be careful. Look at this. If you're coming 514 from Enterprise over to 45, thick stone wall anywhere around there is major thick, and over to Pennington, Alabama, Lisbon, Butler, bad. Now, something that we want to pay close attention to is we have this fog advisory for the Meridian area until 9 o'clock. Now, again, that includes all the counties surrounding us back to Jackson, to where it'll get thick all the way to Vicksburg. Let's go due north of here as we get to Macon, which is going to be Noxubee County, as we get into Winston County, Mississippi, Noxapater, those areas there, all the way up to right up through here on 15. Lake Teocata. It's going to be thick, plus you're going to have a freeze fog advisory, meaning that the temperatures there are below freezing, causing this fog to freeze. Not getting many reports. There are 28 there at Lynn Creek. This is going to be over near Macon. What is Macon sitting at? 28 also. So that's why we've got the freeze fog for these areas, including Columbus Air Force Base, Starkville, Ackerman, West Point, even over to Caledonia. This goes into Reform, Alabama, Carrollton, Alabama, Fayette, these areas there up to Tuscaloosa. So we've got a lot of weather little situations going on. It's going to be very cold north of here. Anything north of Scuba, when you pass by the old back porch cafe, it's going to start changing there. You could get into a little bit of ice due to that fog on your windshields and things. So be careful. Drive a little slower in those areas. School buses will be rolling before long through the Louisville area, all across Winston County. Up and coming, we've got so much to talk about this morning. What's going on overnight? We got all the headlines, the details of what's shaping America. We're going to get into all of that. How do y'all feel? I was telling Odie I think I might need a 18th cup this morning. You ever just not found your gear that gets you going every morning? Hadn't got there yet. I'm going to have at least one more cup to get this day going. We got some more coffee brewing up in a moment. Local headlines coming up at 7. Big thanks to WMOX Radio for joining us as well this morning. We'll be right back as we'll get into headline news. First, let's get a good word of the day.
Throughout all of human history, there have been good leaders and bad leaders, righteous rulers and wicked rulers. Many of us today even have lived through our share of good rulers and bad ones. In the days of a good, righteous ruler, you feel more optimistic. Maybe your patriotism is heightened. Maybe you're thankful for cheaper gas or groceries, and you rejoice at the policies that benefit the country as a whole, but also you as an individual. On the flip side, however, you know when there's a bad ruler in town. You're afraid to say anything out of line that may land you in trouble. You groan at the policies that don't benefit you or the country, and it just puts you in a dour mood. Our wisdom today from Proverbs 29:2 says this: when the righteous flourish, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, people groan. Isn't that the truth? Our proverb today points to a reality. Good rulers lift up the people, and wicked rulers tear down their spirits. I believe that this truth can also be a challenge for all of us. Use your voice to elect good rulers. Think about what is best for your country, your state, your county, and your city. And with that in mind, vote. Make your voice heard. Let good, righteous rulers lead us and allow us to live in the freedoms given to us by our Creator. And then thank God for the rulers He has allowed to be put in place. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. First Baptists of Collinsville, drop in and visit with them. They'll have church services tomorrow night. Hope you can make it for that. Do y'all remember as we go back to look at headlines and things that are coming together now, do y'all remember the airplane that crashed in South Korea? Do y'all remember that? So many lives were lost. As they get into this and determine what happened, they're finding duck DNA on planes, both engines. So that is most likely going to be the cause of that crash. That is just awful there. One of the deadliest air disasters ever happened there. What was it, 178 people that died, somewhere along there? I have to go back and find the exact number, but how awful with that. Now we know what went on with that flight as it came down. Los Angeles, California, we go there. The death toll is up to 29 at this point. So many lives lost. We hate that. Denise, good morning. Good to see you there, joining us there with your pot of coffee. Other headlines as we take shape of this. And do you ever, let me reword it. There's a lot of people that just don't trust the media, because the media, what they call the legacy media, these big media outlets, sometimes take the truth and they twist it the way they want to. There's a picture out this morning from New York Magazine. They went in and took out everyone in the photo that was not Caucasian or white. Then they accused Trump of having only white people there. Now that includes anybody that was Indian, anybody that was Latino, and anybody that was of black descent. They took them out. So that's just wrong. Take the picture, report what is there, and do the right thing. We have so many media outlets across America that just can't seem to do that. Here's one for you. The New York Post posting this. They reshared it as we go to Colombia. You know, the president over there, his daughter is getting involved in all this. She made a post, and she says, for every Colombian deported, we're going to return one gringo. I couldn't help but notice the remarks that are getting back, and they said, thank you. We're getting someone back that will return shopping carts, not talk during movies, and show up at work on time. I have to tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
Instead of someone who's wanted by the law. It's funny how these keyboard warriors go to work, isn't it? Do y'all remember the derailment that happened East Palestine? Y'all remember that? The 2023 derailment of the train that came through that had all the chemicals on it? They're going to pay the town, Norfolk Southern is, $22 million to go toward repairs and things that the town needs that was damaged by all of that. That's the first I had that mentioned. That's been nearly 2 years ago. This is just bad when somebody, you want to talk about what's a lie. Now, that's the only way to put this. New York State Trooper, he lied to y'all, staged his own shooting for, lack of better words, for attention. He's been removed from duty. They said he had some problems going on upstairs and was seeking attention and shot himself. Faked the whole thing. His mother and father have also been arrested. They had some guns that weren't legal up in the house when they done the raid to arrest him. I don't understand sometimes. And again, attention, lying, and all of that, it runs deep in America. And that's why so we have to be very, very careful of what you read. What was that old saying? You used to only believe half of what you see and none of what you read. Yeah, something like that. What was it?
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Believe only half of what you see.
And none of what you.
Is it what you hear or read?
Hear.
It's one of those two things. Is hear is what. Things they twist. We're going to go with that one there. But y'all know where I'm going with that conversation there. As we look at, continue talking about this, ABC, CBS, NBC, they spent, as you look back on the month, primetime television, they spent 46 months talking about the January 6 pardons.
46 minutes.
46 minutes. What did I say? 46 hours? Months. It's 46 minutes.
Felt like it.
My boo-boo. My boo-boo. That was an honest mistake there. How much did they spend on Biden pardoning his family? Now again, this is for the month. Compared 46 minutes on Trump. They spent 3 minutes on everybody in the family. Kind of not fair, is it? Doesn't add up there. Somebody has lost their job. Front row. President Trump yesterday fired all three Democrats on the Privacy and Civil Liberties Oversight Board, bringing much of its work to a standstill. They're going to be new appointees. And what is this? This is the folks that go in, that give advice on foreign surveillance. Should we do this? Should we do that? As they're monitoring things. He says they don't align with what America needs to do. They'll be replaced. I think there will still be 2 Democrats on the board. 3 are gone, 2 will remain. Google says, thumbs up, we're on board with you. What am I talking about? When we rename Mount McKinley and also the Gulf of America. Google will replace those names, and it will plainly say Gulf of America. Hasn't gone through yet. I double-checked my map this morning. It just hasn't officially happened. It will. So each map you look at will look a little bit different there. Robin says she always likes that saying of, I'll believe it when I see it. Careful. Sometimes people manipulate that too. Uh-oh. I don't know how to think about this. Microsoft. I don't know enough about the company, but they're in possibly talks to acquire TikTok. Would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
Better than what we got.
There's so many platforms in the past that have not let people exactly say what they wanted to. We'll see what becomes of that. But Microsoft in talks with them. That should be a huge moneymaker for somebody. And we've talked about this a couple of times, but they're continuing to push this as it comes up on Saturday. PETA, I guess is the better way to say that, PETA. They're saying that Groundhog Day needs to go away and needs to have a vegan weather reveal cake. Folks, that's just... Do you realize how much money is brought in by that little, well, what do you call him, a rat? Animal, rat, whatever he is. We don't have a beaver like that here. Punxsutawney Phil, he brings millions into that town every year for the economy. Why would we put a cake up? Yeah, y'all go find somebody else to bother today. This is, he's going to be all right, but Cy was hospitalized for at least 3 days. And we're talking about the Duck Dynasty star. He was getting out of a boat, misstep, fell, and hurt himself. He's going to be all right, but he was in there for about 3 days recovering from that.
You know, it went around the internet that he had died.
Oh, yeah.
People steadily sharing it.
He's okay. Y'all don't be sharing nothing says something's wrong. There's something else going on with him. We had some skiers that were saved. And this does happen a lot. If you were to drop your cell phone out your car window or be in a wreck, there's a new detection in there that alerts authorities that something has happened. We had 3 skiers that were saved. The iPhone went off. They were trapped. They sent folks to go help them out. That was in Stevens Pass in Washington. It's an SOS alert for help. Now, I've also seen it to where somebody drops their phone in the street and the cops have to go out and they'll find the cell phone in the middle of the highway. That's pretty common, but the pluses outweigh the minuses on that way more than ever. So we like that. I did not know this. We all hear of Tucker Carlson. I've never seen a whole lot about his family. Have you? His son will now be joining J.D. Vance's staff. I didn't realize he had a son that old.
I didn't either.
His name is Buckley Carson. He worked for a Capitol Hill aide before. He'll be joining the vice president's team in the press office, sources say. Wouldn't know the kid if I bumped into him, but I guess that's what you'd call taking steps toward what his father does. And I don't know that Robin said is also going around that Cy has dementia. I have not heard that one there. Terry said that Sean blasted a woman on his show last night, the big groundhog. You ever seen a groundhog up close there, Odie?
Within about 10 feet I have.
Where were you?
Over in Pelham, Alabama.
Pelham. Oh, that's, they got one there?
Yeah.
You know, Atlanta has got Colonel Reb. I think that's what his name is that does his forecasting from Atlanta. I think that's his name. It's been many a year that he's kind of lost limelight. They hadn't done a whole lot with him. But he used to come out from the Atlanta Zoo and make a forecast. Not as popular as Punxsutawney Phil. This is sad, and this just goes to show you that it's everywhere. We've had things like this happen in Meridian. This was a 7-year-old in Florida that was killed in a drive-by shooting. Police have no idea who done it. They're searching. They're pretty sure it was gang-related. Well done. We knew that. Drive-by shootings, they're getting more common and common, no matter what state you're watching me from this morning. We have somebody that was stopped outside the Capitol there. They were supposed to have how would you sneak in? And let me make sure I can pronounce this word correctly. Molotov cocktail. Did I say that right?
That's it.
supposedly had one of those and a knife inside the Capitol. They were detained. No word yet what it turned up there. Let's see what else is happening here this morning. I think this is a good idea. And I don't know a lot about it. We often hear Israel, the Iron Dome. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Trump mentioned it once or twice when he was on the campaign trail, and it looks as though he is pushing forward with trying to get an Iron Dome for America. That ain't such a bad idea. There are people that really don't like our country, and more every day try to sneak things past things that could shoot a missile towards us. An Iron Dome would be good to where it would block anything coming into our airspace. I like that. Now, no word of what it would cost. We'll see. But Israel has one that works well. We all know that. J.D. Vance, as we've been talking about, boots on the ground as he made his way to Virginia there, surveying in those areas there. Hurricane damage in Virginia, North Carolina. He's been all over the places there. He's been asked several times about is FEMA going to be let loose. He's just saying we're here to help. I don't think he has any say-so in that. I think others will make that decision if they redirect it, revamp it. We'll see. We don't know all the story behind this, but one of the men from Indiana that was pardoned from what they call the J6 crimes was shot and killed in a traffic accident this week. That was pretty quick. Matthew Huddle, 42 was his age there. He was stopped. Where was this at? Indiana is where it happened, traffic stop. There was an altercation between him and a deputy. We don't know what it was about. We'll wait to see. This is sad as we go to Douglas International in Charlotte, Douglas International Airport. An employee at the airport was struck by a vehicle on the runway. He was working on the apron. I'm not sure why the driver didn't see him, what the circumstances was. As America cleans up California from the wildfires, and Odie will get involved in this one day. We don't have a lot of this around here, but it would involve emergency management at some point. Their biggest challenge? Electric car batteries. What do you do with them? How do you dispose of them? It's a sticky situation in California because there's tons and tons of those, as they've been very, very, but the law's there on cars. But it's tough there. What will it cost you to go to Super Bowl? Anybody bought a ticket wanting one? I'm hearing on the low end, $7,500 on the low end. How much is your cable bill a year?
I don't have one.
Maybe you get it off the internet. You can actually watch ball games and things like you're watching me that way. $7,500 to be there on the low end. Would it be that important to you to be there?
Nope.
Wow. It wouldn't, because honestly, you can see better from your phone. The cameras go in for the angles, and you don't have to freeze and pay, $200 for a hot dog? Now, I don't know the cost of a hot dog, but I'm sure it's expensive there. We see the first Whole Foods market in Philadelphia, PA, that is getting ready to become unionized. They have voted. Amazon owns this. This will be the first. Doesn't sound good for them as they try to fight this off. We had an earthquake that has rattled Maine and New England. As you're waking up, if you live in that area watching us this morning, I hope everything is okay. We'll just leave Lindsey Graham where he is. Bless his heart. All charges have been dropped against a doctor in Texas. He was charged with leaking information about trans care for children. He said, I'm a whistleblower. They've dropped all charges against him, so we're guessing he was right, correct? That's the way it looks at this point there, doing that to children. Hamas says 8 of the remaining 26 hostages are deceased. Isn't that sad? What else has happened this morning there? Miners that were trapped. We'll just leave that be. I don't know enough about that to wade off into that. As of right now, who's been deported? 2,833 people have been deported from the United States since January the 20th, 7 days ago. It's moving pretty quickly, isn't it? We'll be right back as we'll get into your forecast. Chilly in parts of our viewing areas this morning, especially as we go north. 35, 36 in the Meridian area. The further north you go as you reach Noxubee and Winston County, it gets chillier into the 20s in some of those areas. We'll be right back with your forecast this morning.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
As the seasons change, so do your clothes, and Garrett Sport exactly what you need. Haybo shirts, long and short sleeve, also Hulk shirts, and America's favorite brand, Carhartt. Whether you need work pants or slacks for church, and nothing lasts like a pair of Carhartt overalls. Maybe it's a set of boots that you need to keep you dry in those wet conditions. And as hunting season rolls in, they have all the camouflage you need and toboggans to boot. Garrett Sports Center, 3505 8th Street, Meridian.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs and record lows for the day was 1957. We had a high of 80 degrees today. Back in 1940, we dropped to 4 degrees. That's just unheard of in Mississippi and Alabama, isn't it? Should never happen. As we look for an outlook today, it'll be somewhere between 61 to 62 in Meridian, holding steady at 61 across Philadelphia as you go through Dixon, as you get up to Columbus. Should be somewhere around 60. We'll hit 59 at Greenwood, and all the way down to Natchez, we should see 62 across that area. And maybe a little bit warmer as you get into Hattiesburg at 64 today. Going to start feeling like summertime days before long. As we go east into Bama, we'll see that we have 59 in Tuscaloosa. We'll see 60 there in Demopolis, Alabama. Clanton, Alabama, somewhere around 59 is what we're guessing there. Even Montgomery holding steady at 59. Now, as we look forward to this is what we've got. Limited threat here, patchy fog this morning. And we'll go to live radar. And this is going to go through 9 p.m. This morning, 9 a.m. this morning, rather. Areas of fog everywhere. Use those low headlight beams. Now, as we look at this, let's go back to radar now while we're talking about this, because we've got several things going on with radar this morning. Let me pop over here. Cool, Carolyn's in the house. Can't wait to see her. All right, as we go back to radar, if I can find my mouse, we go back over here, and this is what we're looking at on radar this morning as we pull this up. Again, fog advisory all throughout the area here, from Cleveland, Mississippi, Philadelphia. And it gets thick fog as we get into eastern Lauderdale County from Tumsuba out to Wyandotte. Very thick there at the Bama line. Somewhere around Wyandotte all the way into Alabama is going to be hard to see as you're coming in. If you're coming in this morning on Alabama 10 to Highway 19, be cautious, be careful. All the way over to Lisbon, Alabama, Pennington, Butler, it's thick. We even have a lot of fog still remaining there in Enterprise and areas southward down Highway 45 through DeSoto, and you get to Shibuya. It's still thick. As we go west, as you travel here, and you make it almost to Jackson, as you get past Pelahatchie, it's going to get thick again. By the time you get into that heavy traffic where it merges with 55, foggy. Can't see past your hood emblem. Do they even have those anymore, or is that a thing of the past?
Thing of the past.
Okay, it's all my old junk I've got.
Yeah.
Only I've got a hood emblem. You won't be able to see anything till you make it to Vicksburg. Thick, thick, and thick, even down 61 north and south. Be cautious, be careful. Now, again, as we look north, all this fog here in the Meridian area, we still have this, as we go north of here, this freezing fog advisory starting there at Noxubee County, Winston County. If you're going to be anywhere in those areas around Noxapater, northward up to West Point, freezing fog advisory through about 9 o'clock this morning. This does include portions of Alabama. Look at this. Over here, Fayette, Jasper, all these areas, Hamilton, Reform, Alabama, including Gordo. Kind of a messy thing there, so be careful there. Let's go back and look at the rest of our forecast. What is coming up temperature-wise? Let's take a look at this as we go 7 days into our forecast. Here we are. Today, 61, getting warm tomorrow with a high of 67. And say it ain't so. 70 as we get into February, y'all. It'll be short sleeve weather again for a lot of folks. I'm just going to carry my jacket because I don't trust anything. Keep a Carhartt handy there. 70% chance of rain moving into the forecast on Friday. It's going to be wet there, so be careful as you drive about. But Saturday looks better as we'll have sunshine poking through with a high of 69. Look at Sunday. It is great. 70 degrees there, even 71. Always scares me when we start getting 70-ish. Means bad weather could be approaching us. It spooks me. Let's go another 7 days into this month as we go all the way to February 11th. 71, 66. I don't like those two numbers together. It always spooks me. 65 as we get into that. Something about the number 6. I'm spooked over it. I don't like a lot of 6s. That's just me.
At least 3 of them I don't like.
3 of them really messes with me. As we go on and we look at our best fishing times for today, here it is. Looks like January the 28th. The wind's going to be calm today, somewhere around 5 miles an hour. Your best times to fish are going to be somewhere around 11:30 today to about 1:30 if you've got a little time. Now, late this afternoon, if you're getting a few moments after work, 4 o'clock till about 5. It'll be breezier at dusk dark. Sunset will happen at 5:25. Sunrise is happening. Oh, we're late, aren't we? Yeah, we are. 6:56. I better hurry up. As we look at this, best times to hunt today is going to be at 6 o'clock, starting about an hour ago through 7 o'clock. Minor times today will be this afternoon, right at dusk dark. Be there by 4 o'clock and you'll be okay. Again, sunset happening at 5:25. A big thank you to WMOX Radio for joining us this morning. We appreciate that a whole bunch. And also, we'll be back live in, say about 3 minutes. Carolyn is in the house. She's got makeup on. She's going to break some hearts. I just want y'all to know that. Meridian's most eligible lady is in the house. She'll be here in just a few moments. We'll talk to her. State games in Mississippi right around the corner. We'll find out all about it coming up in a moment here at the Scotty Ray Report. Join us at 7, won't you?
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.